20 people arrested since last Sunday for failing to stand up for the national anthem in cinemas. 12 people were arrested at a Kerala film festival, 8 in Chennai. Vinesh Kumar was watching an Egyptian movie on Monday night in Kerala when he was arrested along with 5 others. He insists he cannot be forced to stand up and show his patriotism in a particular way. Let's watch that story.
An undeterred Vinesh Kumar, among the 12 people from Kerala arrested by the police on Monday night for not standing while the national anthem played.
Is the way needed this insist nationalism? I don't think nationalism is forcefully imposed.
Why cinemas? Only in the cinemas, inside the cinemas, they are insisting the national anthem. It's not happening in court, even parliament, police station. Nowhere is there.
Just last Sunday in Chennai, a group of 8 were assaulted by over 20 men for allegedly taking selfies and chatting while the anthem was being played. The moviegoers also alleged that they were thrashed. And now, the Chennai City Police has booked them under the Prevention of Insults to National Honour Act of 1971. The Supreme Court has not specified a penalty for disobeying the order or indicated how this will be monitored. Shouldn't citizens be given the freedom and the discretion to show their loyalty towards the country and the Constitution? With camera persons Babu and Sukumar, Smita TK for NDTV.
And joining us on our second discussion tonight, Shivam Vij, Deputy Editor of HuffPost India, Rakesh Sinha, RSS thinker, and Anna Vetikad, author and columnist. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Rakesh Sinha, 20 arrests for not standing up for the anthem, and this has happened within 48 hours of this order becoming mandatory. The Supreme Court hasn't even indicated what the penalty should be for people who do not stand up for the national anthem. The Supreme Court, in fact, hasn't also said who is responsible for enforcing that this verdict is followed. 20 arrests, was this an overreaction?
No, I think there are certain things like national anthem, national song, like national flag, constitution. These are things which are above party ideology and sectarian thinkings. Unfortunately, so there are certain people, and I don't blame the certain people. There are certain ideology and the groups who have indoctrinated people in such a way that even after the verdict of the Supreme Court, as long as Supreme Court has not given the verdict, you have a right to criticize. Once the Supreme Court has given the verdict, you can question the verdict. You can have critical observation about the verdict, but it is the duty of citizens to obey the verdict of the Supreme Court. Once Supreme Court gives the verdict that you should respect the national anthem, you should stand in the cinema hall. Now it is the duty of the law enforcing body to implement the Supreme Court judgment.
But the Supreme Court hasn't actually spelled that out.
That is inherent in the judgment. One important aspect is that as long as there was no judgment, the people were free to debate and discussion. They are still free to debate and discussion. But once you start deinstitutionalizing the institutions which are responsible for the governance, then it is a grammar of anarchy. What Baba Sahib Ambedkar used the term in Constituent Assembly debate. We should not do, because this is not going to harm anybody. If you are standing for 52 seconds, that is not going to snatch your time of enjoyment. It is not unprivileging you from enjoying the
But you're not saying that patriotism is something that can be forced with the threat of an arrest hanging on your head?
I believe that the national song, national anthem, national flag, constitution, these are things which is natural flow of patriotism. They require.
But it should be a natural flow, is what people are saying.
This is also a acid test. Once Supreme Court has given verdict, those people who are coming out, you can have a critical discussion on that. But you are just protesting. You are just negating the Supreme Court verdict. This shows that there are, and I don't blame the people. These people, I am blaming certain ideology, certain groups who have been indoctrinating the people in such a way that
you did. Who are these groups?
There are ultra people every state. You know the existence of the ultra organization institution.
All right, Shivam, I can see you smiling at this point. You clearly disagree and have written several articles on this as well.
Well, it's funny to say the ultra groups which are trying to insult to national song and national symbols, because until some years ago the RSS would not salute the Indian national flag. They started doing that very recently. But I think the stupidity of this at so many levels. Firstly, the Supreme Court judgment only says that playing the national anthem before a movie will now be compulsory. It doesn't say that standing up to national anthem is compulsory or not standing up to national anthem illegal. As it happens, the law of the land right now, reiterated by circles of the Home Ministry recently within the last year or so, say that not standing up to the national anthem is not illegal. You cannot be punished if you don't stand up to the national anthem, firstly. Secondly, I think we can keep discussing the legality of this, and I think the Supreme Court order is judgment is a bad judgment which should be reconsidered. The next hearing is on 14th February. But Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore, the man who wrote the national anthem, he said that nationalism is a menace. He warned the Congress party, the people of India, the people of the world against nationalism. He said, my friend Rakesh ji here said that there are some things that are above party and ideology, such as national song and national anthem, patriotism. Right. But Tagore said there's something even above nationalism, and that is humanity. And what we are losing here is our sense of humanity. Right. Firstly, we are doing a great disservice to the national anthem. In fact, there are those who argue that standing up to national anthem or playing national anthem in cinema hall should not be compulsory, because when people don't stand up to the anthem, they insult the anthem, right? Yeah. So when you make it compulsory, he said natural flow, but when the natural flow is not there, right? I think it's much better to not play national anthem in cinemas, where people go for entertainment.
I think the question also really is, why cinemas at this point? What is the connection between patriotism or playing out the national anthem and cinemas? And as someone who's sort of a film critic also, Anna, I'd like you to come in on this. Has this become a deterrent for people who are going to the cinemas? And in particular, in the case of a film festival, which is what happened in Kerala, where the organizers actually came forward and said, don't make this mandatory over here. We have foreign delegates. We have so many screenings through the day. This is just going to be a logistical nightmare. Give us an exemption at least. And even there, not only was no exemption made, but the festival ran into trouble. So where does one draw the line?
Ankita, there are actually some very scary anti-democratic aspects of this debate. You might have heard, for instance, Rakesh Sharma, if you noticed just now, said that once the Supreme Court gives its ruling, then you cannot be criticizing it. Clearly, he believes that there are issues that are completely not open to debate, which is very much in keeping with the position taken by his organization on all issues related to nationalism, the nation and patriotism. And they are constantly and consistently placing symbols of our nation and nationhood above the individual citizen. I have not heard condemnation, for instance, from either the RSS or the BJP of that case in Goa where Salil Chaturvedi, the disability rights activist, was hit by a fellow audience member because he could not get up from his seat during the national anthem because of his disability. Now, of course, this has come from a Supreme Court, it is a Supreme Court directive, but this is part of a herd mentality that this present government and the ruling party have been trying to foster among the people, and it has been manifested in various ways, and it is tragic that instead of leading opinion change and leading thought and being leaders of thought in this country, the court is following. It is impractical, firstly. If anyone has been to the International Film Festival of Kerala, you will know it is a massive event. And I've been to that tented venue where the episode took place, where people weren't able to sit down. You are asking for the national anthem to be disrespected by making it mandatory for it to be played in halls. Secondly, I think we need to start protesting very strongly against this constant demand being made that we should all prove our patriotism. Prove to whom? This country and our feelings of nationalism are not the personal property, Ankita, of either a court or this government or the ruling party, it is ridiculous that we've got to a stage where we have to prove our patriotism by standing in ATM queues. Ram Madhav of the BJP said that's a test of patriotism.
And I need to...
Please allow me to complete, Ankita, because you've come very late to me. And again, before a movie, we have to prove our patriotism when people are paying their hard-earned money to go and relax and enjoy themselves. Nobody has a right to demand that we prove our patriotism to them constantly, and unfortunately, the Supreme Court is following rather than leading us.
I want you to come in on this, and lots of points being made, but specifically one point that I want you to comment on is who is going to enforce this? You had said that the police enforcing this is sort of unwritten within what the Supreme Court has said. But essentially what we are seeing are vigilantes acting out. People who are in the cinema theatres, they are the ones who are complaining. They are the ones who are actually going beyond complaining, but also actually assaulting people in cinemas. That's what happened in Chennai. That's what happened in Kerala as well.
No, nobody should take law and order in hand.
No, but isn't that what is happening?
This is wrong. If someone is kicking someone, if there is a law enforcing agency, the private individuals does not have right to use violence against anybody. But here I want to make a point. Supreme Court is an independent body. It is an objective institution. It is a part of our constitution. It is their judiciary, executive and legislature. But my fellow panelists doesn't know that Supreme Court is not appendix of RSS BJP. We citizens are appendix of Supreme Court. And you are blaming Supreme Court that Supreme Court is following the Bharatiya Janata Party's government. This is most unfortunate. This is most unfortunate. If you have problem singing this national anthem, I can understand. But there are millions of people who are singing. So there is sentiment. There is a national duty.
In the
kindly read Constitution. Kindly read Constitution. There is a national duty.
I think the Supreme Court can make mistakes. It has made lots of mistakes. It should be
read Constitution. Kindly read Constitution without reading Constitution.
Last comments and completely out of time. Rakesh Sinha, Anna Vetikad, you both
have a chance to speak. She has not done homework. She is just calling Supreme Court name.
All right, Shivam Vij, last comments.
Unfortunate. Very
I think going forward, it is important for the Supreme Court to look at these 20 arrests, to look at the viability, feasibility, desirability of such an order, and the next hearing reconsider this. I think there's been a lot of criticism and debates on this in the newspapers, in the press, and this should be reconsidered. I think even Rakesh and I are not fully clear on the need to arrest people for something like
All right, we'll have to leave it at that, and perhaps a thought to end this discussion is whether patriotism and respect can be instilled by force, can be instilled by that threat of arrest hanging over your head or not. We'll slip into a very quick break. Thanks for watching us tonight.